The world doesn't realize what happens when a chosen one cries. Most people see tears as a sign of weakness, a moment of vulnerability that makes someone fragile. But for a chosen one, crying is something much deeper. It's not a breakdown, it's a transformation. Their tears are not like everyone else's. When they reach a breaking point, it's not because they are defeated. It's because something inside them is shifting, and when that shift happens, nothing stays the same. A chosen one carries a strength that is not immediately obvious. They move through life quietly, absorbing the weight of emotions, struggles, and spiritual lessons that most people will never understand. Their hearts are different, more open, more sensitive, not because they are weak, but because they are built for something greater. And that sensitivity makes their pain powerful. When the world pushes them too far, when they reach a moment where the pain becomes overwhelming, they don't just cry. They release something unseen but incredibly strong. What most people don't realize is that a chosen one's pain never goes unnoticed by the universe. Their suffering sends out an energy, a call that echoes beyond the physical world. And when their tears fall, something responds. Whether it's divine intervention, karmic shifts, or simply the energy realigning itself, their tears don't just disappear. They create movement. And the people who cause their pain? They have no idea what they've just set into motion. For a chosen one, crying is never just about sadness. It's an awakening. It's a moment where their soul breaks free from whatever was weighing it down. It's a sign that they are about to enter a new phase of their journey. They don't stay broken. They don't stay weak. Instead, they rise, stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. And when that happens, the same people who hurt them often find themselves regretting it, realizing too late that they never should have pushed a chosen one to their limit. A chosen one's tears don't come easily. They are not like others who break down over small inconveniences or seek attention through their struggles. Instead, they hold everything inside, carrying burdens that no one sees. They don't complain. They don't ask for pity. They endure, because they understand that their pain serves a purpose. But even the strongest souls have moments where the weight becomes too much. And when that moment comes, when a chosen one finally sheds a tear, it's because they've reached the edge of something profound. What makes them different is that their struggles are never just personal. They don't just feel their own pain, they absorb the pain of others. They walk into a room and feel the energy shift. They see through people's smiles, sensing the sadness behind their eyes. They can hear the words left unspoken, feel the tension that others ignore. This is part of their gift, but it's also their burden, because while others can shut out the world's pain, a chosen one cannot. They feel everything, even the things that don't belong to them. This emotional depth is why their breakdowns are so rare and so powerful. They cry not just for themselves, but for everything they have carried in silence. It's an emotional purge, a moment when their soul demands to be heard. And when that happens, it's as if the universe itself listens. People don't realize how much a chosen one has endured until they see them cry. And when they do, it's often followed by an eerie stillness, because something inside them has shifted and they will never be the same again. There's a reason why chosen ones often go through more suffering than others. They are built differently. Their path is harder, not because they are being punished, but because they are being prepared. The weight they carry in silence is what shapes them. It refines them, forcing them to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. While others crumble under pressure, they learn how to transform pain into power. Their struggles are not random. They are intentional, designed to turn them into exactly who they are meant to be. And this is why people should be careful when they push a chosen one to their breaking point. Because once they reach that point, once they let go of the burdens they've carried, they don't just rise, they transform. And the people who thought they could break them soon realize they've only awakened something they can't control. There's something different about a chosen one's pain. Unlike ordinary suffering, theirs doesn't just sit in silence, it creates a ripple effect. It moves through the universe in ways that cannot be explained by logic alone. This is why people who wrong them often find themselves facing unexpected consequences. It's not because a chosen one seeks revenge, it's because their pain carries a weight that the universe refuses to ignore. A chosen one's suffering is never wasted. It serves a purpose. Every tear they shed, every hardship they endure is recorded in the spiritual realm. They don't always see justice right away, but justice comes, and when it does, it arrives in ways that are undeniable. The people who hurt them, used them, or took them for granted may think they've won, but they never do. Sooner or later, they experience the energy they put out. It's not about revenge. It's about balance. The universe has a way of correcting things, of restoring harmony where there was once injustice. When a chosen one cries, it's as if an invisible force begins to rearrange things, ensuring that what was lost will be returned and what was taken will be replaced. They may not see it immediately, but with time they notice the shifts. Opportunities appear where there was once only struggle, doors open that seemed permanently shut. And the people who caused their pain? They often face their own reckoning, realizing too late that they messed with the wrong person. What makes this even more powerful is that chosen ones never need to lift a finger. They don't have to fight, argue, or seek revenge. They simply let go, trusting that the energy they put out will return to them in the right way at the right time. This is why they move differently from others. They don't get caught up in petty drama. They don't waste energy chasing people who betrayed them. They understand that what's meant for them will always find them, and what's not will eventually destroy itself. But the most powerful part? A chosen one doesn't just endure pain, they rise from it. Every time they are pushed down, they come back stronger. Every time they cry, they heal something deeper within themselves. And every time someone thinks they've defeated them, they soon realize that they've only set them up for their greatest transformation. The world never sees it coming. The people who hurt them never expect it. But those who have tried to break a chosen one will always learn the same lesson. They weren't hurting an ordinary person. They were triggering a force they can't control. Most people think pain is the end of the road. They believe that when someone reaches their breaking point, they stay broken. But a chosen one is different. Their pain doesn't break them. It transforms them. Every tear, every heartbreak, every betrayal is like a lesson being written into their soul, carving out a stronger, wiser version of them. What was meant to destroy them only refines them. Pain for a chosen one is not just suffering. It's a process of awakening. It strips away everything that is not meant for them, removing illusions, fake people, and distractions. It forces them to look within, to find strength they didn't even know they had. The things that once shook them start to lose their power. The situations that once controlled their emotions no longer hold weight. And over time they realize that what once hurt them has now made them untouchable. There's a certain moment, after a chosen one has suffered deeply, when everything changes. It's subtle at first. They stop reacting. They stop chasing people who don't appreciate them. They stop explaining themselves to those who will never understand. Instead, they become still, like the ocean before a storm. And when this happens, the world should pay attention, because a chosen one who has healed is a force beyond imagination. People who underestimated them don't recognize them anymore. The ones who caused their pain find that their words and actions no longer have any effect. The things that once made them cry now make them stronger, and just like that, the power shifts. The same pain that was supposed to break them has now become their greatest weapon. There's always a moment of stillness before something powerful happens. After a chosen one has cried their last tears over a situation, after they've finally let go of what was hurting them, there's a pause. It's like the entire universe is holding its breath. Something is about to change. This is the moment when a chosen one begins to see everything differently. The people they once gave endless chances to, they no longer hold a place in their heart. The things they once worried about, they suddenly seem so small. The energy around them starts shifting, doors start closing, and new ones begin to appear. And the people who thought they could take advantage of them suddenly feel uneasy. They can sense that something is different. What's really happening is that the chosen one is stepping into their true power. No more doubting, no more second-guessing, no more seeking approval. They've seen enough, felt enough, endured enough, and now it's time for them to rise. The thing about chosen ones is that when they go through deep suffering, they don't just bounce back, they elevate. They come back with a sharper mind, a clearer vision, and a soul that is no longer burdened by the past. The people who thought they could break them don't understand this transformation. They see the same face, but they feel a completely different energy, and it scares them. There's a reason why people start to feel uncomfortable when a chosen one stops reacting. It's because they know they've lost control over them. The chosen one isn't angry, isn't bitter. They're just done. And that's the most powerful thing of all, because when they stop caring about the things that once hurt them, they become unstoppable. Most people think power is loud. They think it's about having the last word, making the biggest moves, or proving a point. But real power is quiet. It moves silently, without needing validation, without asking for permission. And that's exactly the kind of power a chosen one steps into after they've endured deep suffering. After the pain, after the struggles, after the tears, something inside them changes. They stop chasing people. They stop explaining themselves. They stop trying to prove their worth. Instead, they focus on their purpose, their peace, and their personal growth. And without even realizing it, they start radiating a presence that shakes the world around them. People who used to ignore them suddenly notice them. The ones who doubted them now feel uncomfortable in their presence. It's not because the chosen one is doing anything different. It's because their energy has changed. They no longer seek approval. They no longer entertain small talk or meaningless connections. And the people who once had access to them now feel like they are standing on the outside, looking in. This is where the real shift happens. When a chosen one fully steps into their power, they become untouchable. They no longer react to negativity because they understand that their energy is too valuable to be wasted on the wrong people. They don't engage in pointless battles because they know that their success is the greatest response. And most importantly, they no longer fear losing anyone, because they finally realize that anyone who was meant to stay in their life would never have tried to hurt them in the first place. This transformation is what makes people uneasy. It's what makes them feel like they've lost control over the chosen one. Because they have. The chosen one has risen beyond their reach, and now the same people who once made them cry can only watch as they step into the life they were always meant to have. People often think they can hurt a chosen one and walk away without consequences. They believe that because the chosen one forgave them, the damage is done and life will move on. But what they fail to realize is that nothing goes unnoticed by the universe. Every tear a chosen one sheds is accounted for. Every betrayal, every injustice, every heartbreak, it all comes back full circle. The difference between a chosen one and others is that they don't seek revenge. They don't waste time plotting or trying to make people suffer the way they suffered. Instead, they let go, they heal, they move forward. And this is exactly why karma works in their favor. Their silence is not weakness. It's the quiet before divine justice takes over. When a chosen one experiences deep pain, the energy around them shifts. The people who cause them harm might not see the consequences immediately, but it's only a matter of time. The same ones who laughed at their pain eventually find themselves facing struggles they never expected. The ones who thought they could use and discard them soon realize they've lost something priceless. And the ones who underestimated them start to see them rise in ways they never imagined. This is why hurting a chosen one is dangerous. It's not because they will retaliate, it's because they don't have to. The universe always corrects what was wrong, always restores what was taken, and always ensures that the energy people put out will return to them. And by the time people realize their mistake, it's too late. The chosen one has already moved on to something greater. There is no wasted pain in the life of a chosen one. Every hardship, every tear, every struggle, it all serves a purpose. While others may see suffering as something to escape, A chosen one understands that pain is the doorway to transformation. It's the process that molds them into the person they are meant to be. Pain forces them to grow. It removes the people and situations that no longer serve them. It teaches them resilience, wisdom, and strength. And most importantly, it awakens them to their true purpose. The things they used to tolerate, they outgrow them. The people who once had power over them, they lose their grip. And the situations that once drained them, they become stepping stones to something greater. There's a moment after deep suffering when everything begins to make sense. The opportunities they never imagined start appearing. The doors that were once closed suddenly open, and the things they thought were losses turn out to be redirections to something far better. A chosen one's life is never about just surviving. It's about evolving, and every single painful moment was designed to shape them into someone who can handle the greatness that is coming. What was meant to break them only prepared them. What was meant to silence them only made them wiser. And the people who thought they could stop their growth now have to watch as they step into a future far bigger than anyone ever expected. Pain was never the end of their story. It was the beginning of something powerful. There is a moment when a chosen one stops crying over the things that once hurt them. It happens quietly, without announcement. One day they just wake up and realize they don't feel the pain anymore. The things that once kept them up at night no longer matter. The people who once had power over their emotions become irrelevant, and the past that once haunted them loses its grip completely. This is the silent awakening, the moment where they step into their full power. It doesn't come with fireworks or grand speeches. It comes with stillness, with clarity, with a deep understanding that they are no longer the same person who once cried over the things that broke them. At this point, they stop chasing closure. They stop explaining themselves. They stop seeking validation. Instead, they move in a way that commands respect without needing to demand it. Their presence alone shifts the energy in the room. Their silence carries more weight than any argument ever could, and without even trying, they become the person they were always meant to be. This is where everything changes. The people who once looked down on them now wonder why they feel so distant. The ones who thought they had control over them now realize they have no access to them anymore. And the ones who never believed in them now watch in disbelief as they rise beyond what anyone ever expected. A chosen one's greatest power is not in their words or actions. It's in their ability to rise above everything that was meant to. Destroy them. And when that awakening happens, nothing can stop them. There comes a time when people who once doubted, hurt, or underestimated a chosen one realize their mistake. But by then, it's too late. The chosen one is no longer the same person they tried to break. The version of them that once cried, once begged, once suffered in silence, that version is gone. Now they are untouchable. Now they are walking in their power. Now they don't seek revenge because they are too busy building the life that was always meant for them. And the ones who tried to destroy them, they are left, watching from the sidelines, wondering how they let someone so powerful slip through their fingers. They thought they were hurting an ordinary person. They didn't realize they were triggering a transformation that would make the chosen one unstoppable. So watch what happens next. Watch as the ones who suffered rise. Watch as the ones who were underestimated take their place in the world. Watch as the chosen ones step into the lives they were always meant to have, while those who wronged them are left with nothing but regret. Because in the end, you can push a chosen one to their limit, but you can never break them. Every tear they shed was just fuel for their transformation, and now they are walking proof that what was meant to destroy them only made them stronger than ever before. If this message resonated with you, then you already know you are not ordinary. You were never meant to be like everyone else. Everything you've been through, every tear you've shed, has only been preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. And now, it's time to rise. Your pain was never in vain. Your struggles were never random. Everything has been leading up to this moment, the moment when you realize that nothing can stop you anymore. The world may not be ready for who you are becoming, but that's not your problem. Your only task is to keep growing, keep rising, and keep proving to yourself that everything they tried to break in you only made you unstoppable. And to those who tried to bring you down, they will soon understand exactly what happens when they make a chosen one cry.